as we enter the holidays and people are around family, or even just having memories of people that aren't here anymore with us. I think that forgiveness is one of the most challenging things to do. So how do you work with people around these painful resentments to move towards freedom and forgiveness?
Yeah, and I think it's difficult. It's such a hot potato, it's so hard to touch because I think the idea of forgiveness has been often misused as be a good Catholic. That's what I learned, or be a good person, be polite, it becomes like this obligation we are not ready for. And maybe some peer pressure, or some pressure of our religious communities or whatever. And so, how can there be authenticity? And what was a game changer for me was this little book by actually Jack Kornfield, The Art of Loving Kindness, Forgiveness, and Peace. It's a little book, but it's really worth its weight in gold. And from him, I learned that forgiveness it's not really something that we grant the other, we do the other a favor by forgiving them, that it's really about us. I even have this little quote by Jack Kornfield, which I find just says it all. Forgiveness is letting go of past suffering and betrayal, a release of the burden of pain and hate that we carry. And that was a real important insight for me, that I was carrying the pain of my resentment.
Hmm.
I had a lot about, the 2 years in an orphanage, about my relatives who didn't really acknowledge me as worthwhile or whatever it was, and so lots of years of therapy there. But I realized I was suffering from my own resentment. They didn't really care, or it didn't matter if they cared or not, but in my case, they didn't really care. So I was stuck with the resentment. I was stuck with the pain and the hurt and the shame and the whatever I was feeling. And I quite frankly got tired of it. I just wanted to be free. And that's the message of the Buddha, is that one of freedom. We want to be free. And I think we can't prescribe it to us. We can't press the button and flush it down the toilet. Okay, now I forgive. We have to be ready for it, but we also have to be open for it. And
Hmm.
as we are open to forgiveness, it's like cracking the door a little open, and then it happens much quicker than we think. And oftentimes the hardest one is to forgive ourselves. Why was I in the wrong time in the wrong place? Why did I walk that evening through the park, when somebody jumped on me, or maybe why did I say this? Why wasn't I smarter? Why was I, whatever it was, why didn't I stand up to my boss? Or why did I stand up too much to my boss? So it's like, whether it's our fault or not, it's important to at some point let go of that grudge,
Yeah.
and let go of that burden, and then we are more free for something new to happen.
It really is a grace that comes to us, and there's sort of like the first step is, am I willing to forgive before I actually have to forgive? I can just maybe be willing to forgive, and then maybe the forgiveness will come.